Shadrach Kodesh, it's your girl, Occult Keziah. Shadrach Kodesh is set apart to serve, or set apart to minister. Today I'm going to speak about the outer darkness and the wording of weeping and gnashing of teeth. What do that mean? What, why? Why is that? Why would there be weeping and gnashing of teeth? And what is the outer darkness or the exterior darkness? Who is this referring to? That's what we're going to discuss today, family. Welcome. May Elohim continue to bless those that's out there that's trying to get this knowledge. May Elohim continue to bless us throughout these hard circumstances that we're all going through in this world today, with the leading and guiding of Satan's demons in this wicked world. Always keep Elohim first. Always know that Yahshua died for our sins and that we need to, continue to be part of the government of heaven and not be worrying about what's going on in this world and trying to be part of this wicked world. So may Elohim bless us to make the right decisions to live for him and not for ourselves and others in this world. That's what's up. Okay, Matthew chapter 8 verse 12. Matthew chapter 8 verses 11 to 12 rather. Okay, and I say to you that many shall come from east and west and sit down with Abraham and Yishak and Jacob at the reign of the Shemaim. Verse 12. But the sons of the reign shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I like to start off with the Hallelujah scriptures first. I like to get the true wording of Hebrew reading. I'm still in learning of Hebrew reading. So I would start with the Hallelujah scriptures, then I would, translate for others' understanding with the New International Version. So that's Matthew chapter 8 verses 11 and 12. Okay. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I say to you that many will come from the east and west and would take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom, the sons of the kingdom, but the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. What that mean? They talking about believers. That's not talking about the unbelievers. That's talking about the believers. That's talking about us, the sons of heaven, will be thrown out into the outer darkness, where it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Well, why? Let's keep reading. Let's turn our Bibles to Colossians. Let's go. We're going to do some Bible study today. Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3, verses 5 through 16. Therefore, put to death your members, which are on the earth, whoring, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, and greed of gain, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of Elohim is coming upon the sons of disobedience. Because of these, the wrath of Elohim is coming upon the sons of disobedience. Wait a minute, hold on. Because I wanna go back to get some understanding on what that meant. Wait, hold on. That many would come from east and west and would take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects, that's the sons of the kingdom would be thrown outside into the darkness where there would be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The sons of the kingdom, but the sons of the kingdom would be thrown out into the darkness, the outer darkness. Now, Colossians chapter 3 verse 6 says, because of these, the wrath of Elohim, that's God, capital G-O-D, is coming upon the sons of disobedience. Verse 7, in which you also once walked when you lived in them, but now also put off all these: displeasure, wrath, evil, blasphemy, filthy talk from your mouth. Do not lie to each other, since you have put off the old man with his practices, and have put on the new one, who is renewed in knowledge according to the likeness of him who created him. When there is not Yanai and Yada, remember this is hallelujah scriptures. I can go back when I'm done with this. Circumcised and uncircumcised, foreigner, Shakuthian, slave, free, but Messiah is all and in all. Verse 12, therefore as chosen ones of Elohim, Kadesh, that's holy and beloved, put on compassion, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other if anyone has a complaint against one another. Indeed, as Messiah forgave you, so you also should too. Now, because I don't want to be all over the place, people like, what is going on? What is she talking about? What is she saying? I'm not understanding. So I'm going to read the New International Version so you can understand. Forgive me for my pronunciations. Okay, verse 5, chapter 3, the New International Version. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. You used to walk in these ways in the life you once lived, but now, that's verse 8, but now you must also rid yourselves of all such things as these, quote, anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips. Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old selves with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. Here there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and is in all. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. As chosen ones, people tend to go back to their little old ways. I feel that I have to just do and say what I need to say to get it off my chest, instead of going to the Lord and asking him for guidance, for strength in their weakest areas. So we still lack with evil desires at times. Oh, I can't help it. I'm a man. I got to do this. Woo, woo, woo. No, you can't even say you holy. You can't say you holy if you still doing sexual immorality things, committing adultery, fornicating. Well, I gotta have sex. I gotta do it. No, you don't have to do nothing. What are you talking about? You are willing to be a slave for Satan when you feel you need to do all these fleshly desired things and stuff like that. You're going against Elohim. And see, that's the reason why we don't get chosen to be part of the inauguration of Christ's second coming. See, that's the reason why we get thrown into the outer darkness as his chosen ones, because we want to come into the banquet, we want to come into the feast, and we still got on our old clothes that we had supposed to get rid of when we got reborn again, when we became renewed with Christ. We still want to wear our old jacket. We still want to have our old gym shoes on and come into, the inauguration of Christ. Enjoy the feast with Abraham. No. It's not happening. Get out of here. You still got some things you need to get worked on. You still need to be renewed. He said he rebuked those who he loved. But why am I always being disciplined? Look in the mirror and check yourself. Examine yourself and see what you're messing up at. Examine your desires. Do you still have fleshly desires? Do you still have, do you still cuss? Do you feel you need to curse? I'm saying all the things I just named out this Bible, are you still doing those things? And still claiming that you are a chosen one of Christ, that you are a follower of Christ and the chosen one of Elohim? Are you still doing these things that's an abomination of God, that's against God? Everything I just named. Because if you're still part of it, no, you would not be part of the inauguration. No, you would not be part of the feast. Right. Everybody kept thinking that was about hell. Nah. You better get that out your mind quick. Get it renewed, because that's not about hell at all. Getting thrown into the outer darkness somewhere when you want to be part of this feast, and he said, get out of here. You're going to be looking on the outside, looking in, wishing you was part of it, and you're going to be so mad and so, oh man, I wish I could be part of it. You're going to be weeping and gnashing, you're going to be looking stupid. You're going to be feeling sorry for yourself because you wish you was part of the inauguration. I like to say inauguration. Yeah. Matthew 22. 1 through 14. Let's read that. Let's read Matthew 22, 1 through 14, y'all. Let's do some Bible studying today. And Yeshua responded and spoke to them again by parables and said, got the hallelujah scriptures out on you, and I'll come back with the NIV version. Verse 2 says, the reign of the Shemaim is like a servant who made a wedding feast for his son and sent out his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding feast, but they would not come. Again, he sent out other servants, saying, say to those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and fattened cattle are slaughtered, and all is ready. Come to the wedding feast. But they disregarded it and went their way. This one to his field, that one to his trade, and the rest, having seized his servants, insulted and killed them. But when the servant heard, he was wroth, and sent out his soldiers, destroyed those murderers, and lift their city on fire. Then he said to his servants, the wedding feast indeed is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. That was verse 8. Then he said to his servants, the wedding feast indeed is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Let you marinate on that. Now, like I say, this is for the believers. We're not talking about unbelievers right now. We're talking about the believers, the chosen ones. We need to get up out of there. I'm going to heaven. Yeah, I got it all down packed. I know my scriptures. I do this. No. You better examine yourself before you get left behind and not become part of this feast. We read this. We have a Bible study today. Let's go. Verse 9. Therefore, go into the street corners, and as many as you find, invite to the wedding feast. And those servants went out into the street corners, and gathered all whom they found, both wicked and good. And the wedding hall was filled with guests. And when the servant came into the view, the guests, he saw there a man who had not put on a wedding garment. Just listen to what these scriptures are saying. And when the servant came into view the guests, he saw there a man who had not put on a wedding garment. In Colossians, we spoke and read on about taking off the old clothing and putting on the new clothing. Now imagine this parable right here in chapter 22 is speaking in parables. And when the servant came and to view the guests, he saw there a man who was invited. Came into the view of the guests, he saw there a man who had not put on a wedding garment. And he said to him, friend, how did you come in here not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Verse 13. Then the servant said to the servants, bind him hand and foot, take him away, and throw him out into the outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. You better ask God to give you some wisdom on what this chapter means right here. Verses 1 through 14. Then the servant said to the servants, bind him hand and foot, take him away and throw him out into the outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. For many are called, but few are chosen. Keep thinking that you got a spot in heaven. Keep thinking that you got a spot at the feast, the inauguration. You being part of the second coming. You're going to get left. You got some stuff you still need to get rid of. You better work on it right now. ASAP. Read and ask for wisdom about that parable. Now, we read Colossians already. Colossians chapter 3, 5 through 16. And then you read Matthew chapter 22, 1 through 14. That's the parable that Jesus spoke of. So when you read that, then you understand, man, that's what that means. I need to get it together. I still got this old garment on. Let's go. I used to think that the outer darkness was spoke of as hell. How wrong was I? The weeping and gnashing of teeth. I thought he was talking about hell. Not at all. Not at all. So I was inspired to read that by reading the Daily Bread, Colossians chapter 3, 5 through 16. You know, when it say, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And the parable when Jesus was speaking of Yeshua, obviously, you know, the guy came in, was invited, but he had on the wrong gear. He had on the wrong garments. Like, get out of here. You know, what are you doing? You got to put on some fresh clothing. Obviously, the clothing was ready, was there for him to put on, but he just, I guess, took it upon himself not to change. He didn't want to change clothes. So, as a parable, we don't want to change our ways. We don't want to change our ways. We can be accepted and be invited, but once we come in there and we ain't changed, then we got to get out of there. We're going to get kicked out. Yeah, you've been accepted for this job here, the job interview and everything, and you got your uniform in advance. As soon as it's time to get ready and work, you get ready and go to work. You're running late, first of all, but still giving you chances. You come on in there, you ain't got on a uniform at all. They're like, well, what you doing? Oh, I'm coming to work. But where the uniform at? Oh, I ain't even had time to put it on. Can I just still work though? I ain't. No, you cannot. You can't work in regular clothes. You got to work with the uniform that we've given you. No, you're not going to come in and start off doing what you want to do. No, get out of here. We've given you the uniform to put on. You still lack doing that and still want to come here telling you want to work. You see everybody in here with these uniforms on. Who is you think you want to come in with plain clothes on and not work? And work rather. No, go get the uniform and get out of here. And so that's what the parable was speaking of, his chosen ones. We chosen, but we we coming to the inauguration of Jesus' second coming. Then next thing we still got our attitudes up creep. We still idolizing money, committing adultery. We still doing what we want to do. We still doing what we want to do. And we're not going to get accepted doing that. We're going to get kicked right on out. In Colossians, Paul combats hollow and deceptive philosophy. Hollow and deceptive philosophy. By positively expounding on the amazing reality that believers die and rise with Christ into a new body and a new family unified in him. That's born again. To explain how to live according to their new identity in Jesus, Paul uses the metaphor of taking off and putting on clothing. That's in Colossians that we read. That's Paul speaking. Paul uses the metaphor of taking off and putting on clothing. They were to rid themselves of literally taking off their old identities and habits, and instead put on or clothe themselves through the Spirit with the beautiful qualities of their new identities in Christ. Let's go. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. The brother didn't have on the right clothes. He didn't have on the right garment. He still had his own wicked ways amongst himself. So he wasn't, part of the kingdom. He couldn't be part of the kingdom. I like that. I like that I was able to get some understanding with that, because I was lost on those terms. For many are called, but few are chosen. Many of us are called into ministry, to serve, to help, but only few of us are chosen. This is serious. I really thought I had it until I got rebuked and got disciplined, and I accepted because I didn't realize I was lost still, lacked understanding, lacked wisdom. Still had some stuff I needed to be examined of and get rid of. How wrong was I thinking I was going to have a spot at the feast, even in heaven, being part of the government of God, and I still had stuff I had to get rid of. Oh, I thank you, Elohim, for rebuking me, getting me straight. I'm sure I still got some things I need, but at least I know. And reading this is helping me get it together. And it can help you as well. Do not miss your calling. Don't miss being chosen. Don't get rebuked at the last minute. Not being invited to the inauguration of his second coming. because you don't want to let go of your wicked ways. Take off the old garment. Take it off. Throw it away. Burn it. Whatever. Now don't do hand-me-downs. Don't give it to. No. Get rid of it and put on the new clothing. Put on the new garment of Christ. So we can all become part of the second coming. Be part of the feast with Abraham and them now. You do not want to be part of the outer darkness. You don't want to get kicked out there looking on that outside, you know, so on the outside looking in rather, and where it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. How wrong was I thinking that it was about hell and unbelievers? Not at all. Totally misinterpreted. It was totally about the believers, the chosen ones, who still want to leave on old garment and thinking they just gonna come on and no, let's go. Once again, read chapter 3 in Colossians 5 through 16, Matthew 22 1 through 14, Matthew 8 11 and 12. Let's go. I also have Matthew chapter 25 verse 30. That's another scripture that's speaking on weeping and gnashing of teeth. I think weeping and gnashing of teeth spoken of about 8 times in the New Testament. Acts chapter 7 54. People want to know, what do that mean? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Weeping and gnashing of teeth is of anger, anguish. In the story of stoning of Stephen, the phrase was an expression of the anger of the Sanhedrin towards Stephen prior to the stoning. Gnashing of teeth is when one grinds one teeth together, or to have one's teeth set on edge, or to bite down in pain, anguish, or anger. Read those chapters, and ask Elohim again for some more wisdom, knowledge, understanding, true revelation of his word. And maybe you can leave some comments down there on some things I might have missed. But let's get it together, family. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, let's get it together so we won't miss out. Elohim bless. Once again, you tune in to Sharath Kodesh Ministry, set apart to serve, with your girl Ekhok Kazaya. God bless you. Elohim willing, see you next week. Peace.